キロです。
はい。
させてください。このまま 6.7 キロ進みます。
はい。1号線ルートでしょ。
そう。
まあ、1号線っていうところを目指せばいいわけでしょ。タスマニアに1号線あったんだな。メインラートだけだと思ってた。
だよね。ブルースハイウェイだろ、要するに。
そうなのかね。1号線ってなるとそうなるよね。国道だろだって。州道1号線ってわけじゃないの。
このまま 6.3 キロ行くと1号線です。
はあ、いい絵ですな。
これは川か。入り江だね。
ロータリー出口です。
なんかすげえ橋が。電車も通ってんのかな。
ブラックスワンだらけ。
うわーマジだ、すげえ。うわーすげえ。めっちゃおるやん。
石ころかと思ったら
うわ
ブラックスワンだ。
全部せやん。マジで。
ひ
うわーひなまみれやん。なんやこれ。すげえ。
なんだこれ。
ブラックスワンの山だ。すげえ。ここまで集まると若干気持ち悪いな。
チビがいっぱい。ちょうど繁殖期なんだね。そうか、暖かいシーズンで繁殖期なんだ。うわ。
これさ、共同繁殖なんかすんのかな。ヒナが入り混じってるよね。明らかに我が子分かってないでしょこれ。
どうなんだろうね。そうだね、ペリカンみたいに後ついてってないもんね。
およそ400メートル先、ロータリー2番目の出口です。
いや、すごかった。
どんだけいっぱいおんねん。
ああいうのね、動画向きね。
美しいですな。山々ですな。
なんかさ、でもやっぱアデレードと共通点あるよな。
若干ね、色合いが。
そう。
いいですな。いいですな。
いいですな。
とりあえず開けるといいですなって言ってるけど。なんか看板出てきたぞ。
ロスっていう街があるだけだ。
休憩所、トイレもあるぞ。
行こうか。
寄ってみるか。
ジャンクション400メーター。なんでここはいろいろあるんだろうね。
観光で食いつないでんじゃないの。ちょっと観光したね。謎の。あ、北欧圏だ。走っとる走っとる。懐かしい光景や。あいつらとよう戯れとった。
ほんと。構ってやるとすげえ喜ぶでしょ。
いや、喜ばない。
あ、ほんと？
あいつらはオーナーさん第一だから。 赤の他人が来てもオーナーさん第一。
あ、そうなんだ。
あれはもう遺伝子に刻まれてるから。和牛がいる。
おお。頑張っていっぱい育てて。
いや、
難しいとこだな。
それは日本に頑張ってほしいんだけど、俺は。
まあそれは絶対そうなんだけどね。
日本の畜産を支えてるのは和牛文化だから。
B13 に入ります。
B13 に入りましょう。
左方向です。
これだ。
マジで。
こっからいよいよさ。言うたやん。もう何もなくなるよ。ガソリンスタンド見つけたら絶対入ろう。
ああ、働くね。お、なんかポリに捕まってる。
速度違反か。あれなんとかが持ってるよ。スピードオーバーしてないですね。
してないと思うけどね。切られてる？
切られてるっぽいよ。
あれ、前の車と同じ乗りで走ってたからじゃあ切られそうだ。何キロやねん、ここ。Right, sir. Good thing, gig. Did I exceed?
Pardon?
Did I exceed or something?
No, 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 I was only wanting the car in front. So
Oh.
you're fine. No, you can go. No, 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 you're...
前の車だけ止めたらしいぞ。
うん、でも止めてるように見えたよ
なあ、止まれっつったよな。あれで止まんねえ方がやべえからな。
あ、これがシェアフィールドって最後の町かな、もしかして壁画で有名な。違ったかな。
駅か。あれガソリンスタンドありますよ。大都市だもん
ねえ、ちょっとここでなんか買ってこう。
壁画の街シェフィールド。至る所壁画だらけ。ヘアピン。ナイスナイスナイス。
対向車が少ないからな。まだよしとずね。
ちょっとしたミニバスだもの。すげえな、そっち側。どうなってんの？
崖。
ほう。32キロ。100キロ無理無理無理無理無理無理無理無理。何を言ってんのよ。アホなの。100キロって
何も考えてない。
ただの自殺志願じゃん。100キロね。
でもね、イニシャル D が走ってるとかこんなもんじゃないっすよ。
ユーロビートかけるか。
これだと思う。これです。これです。ディスカバリー。マーケート。
歩いてます。
目的地に到着しました。
いやー、マークが。
お、また注意だ。
夕日が綺麗だね。右方向ですって言ってるけど、ここかもしれない。
これだろ。
エントランス、これだ。ここに止めればいい。
クイーンやってるんだ。素晴らしい環境だね。
We have food. We have food. Yummy, yummy, yummy food.
So what type of food is it?
Answer that in a moment. Alright. Hopefully that stays there for a little while. Yeah, the other smaller chunks as well. Alright,
Lucky day.
so I just got the question, what are we feeding them? So we will feed them three main things, and that would be Bennett's wallaby, which is this, rufous-bellied paddymmelon, and brush-tailed possum. Those three native marsupials to Tasmania are extremely common native animals in Tasmania, and therefore would provide most of their wild diet. So they're generally not going to be hunting Bennett's wallabies or possums. They definitely can, but they prefer to find already dead ones. Their main niche, or the niche that they're filling, their role in the ecosystem, is to scavenge and clean up dead animals. So these animals that we're feeding the devils, that's what they'll find in the wild, and as you can tell, we will feed them the whole thing, including fur and bone and things like that. Now, devils, they require that entire carcass, particularly bones, really important part of their diet. You can just hear them chewing on the bone already. So it's a really important part of their diet because they need to get their calcium from the bone. They need to wear the teeth as well because their teeth will grow for their entire life. They only get one set of teeth, but it grows continuously until they're about 5 years of age. So they need to wear those teeth down, keep their jaws healthy, and keep those jaws nice and powerful by chewing on that bone. Now, I was mentioning just before the sharing aspect. So this is sharing. You'll notice that they're not fighting too viciously over this food. And that's because they've got that decent chunk, which means that one devil couldn't eat all of it in one mouthful. Which basically means they'll need to compete with the other devils for the food. but they are eating as quickly as they can to make sure they don't miss out. Now, one of the males here got that separate chunk down there, so he'll be happy with that by himself. And as you can tell, he's not making too much noise down there by himself, and that's so that he makes sure he eats all that food. If devils were to come across a small amount of food, say a dead bird, for example, they won't make any noise, they'll just eat the whole thing. If they were to come across an entire wallaby, they'll start screaming, and that would attract other devils in. And the more devils you have, the quicker they can pull the carcass apart and actually eat it quicker than if it was just one devil trying to get through that carcass. So it actually helps them to have several devils chewing on the carcass at the same time. Now, you would notice in this enclosure, these four that we've still got up the front, we do have one of them that has white on the back of his hips. He's the male. The other male also has white on the back of his hips, and the three females are lacking that white marking. That first enclosure, we have 4 females and 1 male. All of the devils in there have white on the back of their hips. So it is completely random for every individual devil, has nothing to do with their genetics or who their parents were or anything like that, or whether they're male or female. It is a random pattern for every animal. Now, one of these 3 females here, her name is Rain. She is completely black. She's the only completely black devil at Devil's Yet Cradle. Now, it's fairly unique to be completely black, but not unheard of. About 5% of devils are lacking any white markings. Now, the reason why devils have white on them to begin with is actually to add to their camouflage. Now, with the use of artificial light, it makes them very easy to see at night time. Without that artificial light, the white marking will break up their silhouette. A completely black devil would cast a silhouette against a rainforest habitat, for example, and that means that if they're trying to hunt, their prey might see them sneaking up, but also they would be able to be seen by predators. So most devils have white on them to break up their silhouettes and make them a little bit harder to be found. Now, I mentioned just then that devils, they will hunt, they will sneak up on prey, but it's very opportunistic. They're generally not trying to take down healthy, fully grown wallabies, for example. Devils will run at about 25 kilometres per hour, a wallaby will be 50 kilometres per hour. Does anyone want to guess how fast a wombat will run? 35, so about 40. So about 40 k's an hour for a wombat, so much quicker than a devil. So devils won't try and take down those healthy animals if they're going to have to chase them. I have seen trail camera footage of a wombat coming out of its burrow, has a stretch, and the devil trips over it and it predated on that wombat. So they have the ability to do that, but they're not really going out of their way to hunt those healthy animals. So that is why their number one role is cleaning up dead animals. It's what they're best at. You can notice that this leg is pretty much gone already. They're very, very quick, very efficient scavengers. They're definitely capable of eating the entire animal, and you can hear them chewing on the bone at the moment.
Is there a reason why you put the food in that enclosure with a different stuff on the ground compared to the grass?
Because they always dig around the metal stake to try and dig the stake up, so we just fill it in with gravel. Yeah, so that's the only reason. They are pretty good diggers, and they dig around the stake so they can get the food off it quicker and then disappear down the back where we can't see them. So that's why we fill it in with gravel.
Thank you.
Do you ever attract a wild devil, the noise? Like wild devils?
Yeah, so the question was whether wild devils would be attracted into Devil's Yet Cradle. Definitely they would be, but if you look over there, we've got a 2.5 metre high perimeter fence, and that will keep the wild devils out. So that fence is there to make sure our devils don't catch the cancer. Our devils are not immune, they're just quarantined. But basically we have cameras on the outside of that fence, and nearly every night, most nights, we'll see devils will be walking along that fence trying to see if they can get around it. But devils aren't very agile, they can't climb very well, and they aren't good enough diggers that they could be bothered digging all the way under the fence and getting up over it. So basically the wild devils stay on that side of the fence, but we do see wild devils around Cradle Mountain. They are here. I mentioned that we still have a few of them around, and we do see them fairly often on those cameras, but in person we don't see them very often at all. So that's mainly because they're very shy. They try to avoid people in the wild. These devils will stay in captivity to breed because obviously they're not scared of us, not scared of me. we do release devils at 1 year of age, so quite young, don't get too used to being in captivity, and they've come from really elusive mums, and therefore the joeys will learn to be elusive, and they're the ones we'll release. But basically, devils will smell you coming or hear you coming normally before you have a chance to see them. So if you do see a devil, it's quite a rare sighting. But basically, they're not hanging around for a good photo most of the time, the devils.